back to the channel here. As you can see, just checking the cows right now for Dad. We're kind of in the middle of calving. I think we're getting close to the middle anyways, being halfway done. Dad said he's got about 40 calves already, and we have about 126 that we think should be calving. So right now, all we really do is just come through and check the cows and watch and look to make sure there's none that are struggling or none that need help. Then we also, another thing we check for are new calves. And right now, we have one that was born this morning that we haven't been able to tag yet. So Dad's gonna come down and do that sometime. So if me or Dad ever see any with no tags, other than we know what number the one that has already been calved, we know that that's meaning that there's been another cow to calve. We did pretty good this year. I think we only had 4 or 6 cows out of our whole herd that were open, so that's been pretty good for us. There's not a whole lot to do here, just make sure you drive around and look through all the cows and calves. Another thing to look for is when a cow has a calf, she always likes to lick it down to kind of clean it, so that's another thing you look for. See if there's any cows cleaning a calf or licking it off. But gonna go down. Most of the cows are always up around here in the main corrals, but we do have it to where they can go to a little grass portion a little ways down. So gonna run down there, check to see, because a lot of times we've noticed that if a cow is gonna calve, there's pretty often that they go down there to calve. It might be hard to tell, but there is a cow way down there, so we'll definitely have to go check. But anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. Dad's up at the house and he's putting a new hub on our sweep. There was one that the cap came off, so that's meaning we needed to replace that bearing. So he's doing that, and then we're gonna start working a couple fields. We have this one just right in here that we're gonna work. Then after we do that, we have another irrigated circle just across the trail that we are gonna need to work, so we're gonna get ready to get started on that. As you can see, still in the tractor here. I switched it up from the chiseling that I've been doing. Now we are working on sweeping our fields, or also known, some people do call it blade plow or blade machine, but this is the second field we're working on. I started the first field yesterday. It was a field of wheat stubble, and this here is a field of milo stubble that we had, and this is an irrigated circle, much like the one of wheat stubble I did. The reason it is so bumpy, I don't know, you can probably tell, I'm sure you can tell by the way it looks on the video. This is a field that we had to deep rip with the subsoiler is what we call it. This one is right next to where our cows are also. And so after fall harvest, when we take the milo off the field, for the winter we always graze them on this field, and they cause quite a bit of compaction just being out here for a few months. So we have to go through and use our subsoiler and get a deep rip through the field, just in that way we can break up our compaction. The reason it's so bumpy is because we go in a circular pattern, and the reason why is because of these tracks right there, if you can see that. Now the reason we go in a circular pattern to follow these tracks is because of that, our sprinkler. The reason we follow the tracks of the sprinkler is because if we were to just go on a straight back and forth pass and cross over those tracks with our subsoiler, that would then break up the compaction underneath the tracks. Which, yes, that was the whole point of subsoiling, was to break up the compaction. But if with that compaction underneath those tracks, it keeps the tracks from the sprinkler from getting as deep. And with those tracks not being able to get as deep, it's quite nicer for us because we never have to worry about our sprinkler getting stuck during the year when we are watering our crops. Now, the reason we don't want our sprinklers getting stuck is for two reasons. One, because then we have to go out and manually pull that sprinkler out, or that certain tower or whatever you want to call it that gets stuck. And number two, when you have to go out and do that, you always have, most of the time when you're running your sprinkler, you have crops in the ground. So when you have crops in the ground and you have to take a tractor, loader, whatever you have to use to pull it out, you end up running over quite a bit of crops. And as farmers, we really don't want to run over our own crops. So therefore, that is why we go in a circular pattern. Is in that way we can keep those tracks hard and the sprinkler won't dig down as deep. But unfortunately, like this, the first time we go over it with anything other than the subsoiler, it's pretty rough. I think it's way worse this year just because our subsoiler didn't do as good of a job. As you can see, these ruts are pretty deep, or well, not ruts, but where the shanks went, the dark colored spots where the stubble is in, they've been pretty rough. The subsoiler normally doesn't disturb it this much. I don't know if we did it when it was too dry or too wet. I don't know, but it didn't leave as good of a finish. And so what it's causing is our tires are dipping down into those, and then like that, we hit the tracks. But it does get pretty rough, and I'm gonna put you guys back to where you were. I'm gonna try and do most of this video with my phone right here. Like I said, it's pretty rough, and if I'm to hold it like I normally do, it's not gonna be a very good video because it's just gonna be bouncing around. This way, you get to watch me bounce around with a probably a lot better. Thankfully though, this is the only field that will be like this. Unfortunately, because of these deep ruts, we're not able to use the auto steer right now because the tires are they're just bouncing around. As you can tell, I'm having to steer quite a bit, and that's because like right now where I'm at, you can see that I'm getting to where one of the tracks is kind of coming to an end. It's right in there, in that area, there's another track. Well, as we worked in with our subsoiler, the passes kept getting shorter and shorter because as you work in, the circle gets smaller. Well, when the circle gets smaller, what happens is the tires line up a little more with the shank marks from our subsoiler, and where it's a lot deeper, kind of like where it is right now. If you watch, the tires can sink into those tracks and actually pull the tractor one way, and then it gets very hard to pull out of those. So that's causing the auto steer to not work, and it's making the tractor go all over the place, so it's easier just to steer it ourselves. Like I said, thankfully this is the only field we've had to do this to. Should be able to at least get this first half done tonight, then in the morning be able to finish the other half. It's about 1:30 right now, so we should definitely be able to get this half done and get started on the other one, but we won't be able to get it finished tonight. However, like I said, I'll do another video on the sweep and also working some more wheat stubble. I think we have a few other wheat stubble fields around the house that we're going to do that we won't be planting the milo, so I'll try and do some video when I go and do that. But anyways, there's also a few little things I want to say. I know the farming can probably get repetitive sometimes, so I'll try to keep down having a bunch of videos on one certain thing. Unless there's some other stuff that I would like to talk about or mention in the videos, then I'll probably do 2 or 3 videos of the same operation. But anyways, I know I'll be able to start doing a little more on the cows here pretty soon. In the first clip, that was 2 days ago on the 7th that I checked those cows. Then we were at just shy of 40 calves, but since then we've had another 7 calves, I believe. So that's putting us up closer to 45, 46 calves. So here soon we might be working those calves so we can get those tares out of our corrals and onto pasture. The reason we want to do that is because not only will it free up more space and make it easier for us and the other cows to calve, is we'll have those cows out of here, and also we won't have to be feeding those cows the hay. We have more than enough hay, I believe, to get those cows through the rest of the season, but we would like to get them out and get them on the pasture so we don't have to keep feeding them. So here somewhat soon I'll probably be able to get a couple videos on that, whether it's just getting them in and maybe doing a time lapse or a couple short videos of us working the cows to show what we do and what we do at this time with the calves. Most of the time we wait until they're somewhat old, that way we're not working them when they're too young, because that can hurt them a little more. But anyways, probably try and get a video on that sometime soon, depending on when we do it. But otherwise, there are some other video ideas I have. And yes, I know I said I would include the cows quite a bit in the videos, but so far right now, I don't have a whole lot to do with the cows. I'm not saying that. Personally, I don't like cows. I like farming more, but with the online classes and everything, I've been able to stay home and get my classes done before lunch is here. So that's then allowed me to come out and start farming for Dad, while Dad is able to go take care of the cows and watch after them. So that's why I haven't really been able to get much with the cows lately. I will definitely try and get the cows and the cattle operation in here a little more with the videos. Like I said, I don't do much with them right now because Dad wants me to do the farming, but I'll do better about getting those into there. Along with doing a little more work with the cows here on the channel, there's also a few other things that are going to be popping up here soon. The first thing that will probably be the, I guess, closest to this video is going to be our planter. And what I mean by that is, since spring is coming up and the 1st of May is coming, we will be starting to get that ready to start planting. There are a few small things and a few major things that we kind of need to work on in order to get it ready. Our planter, which you can't see because of the dust and the trees that are over there, is just it's already out sitting by our shop. But it is a John Deere 7200 8-row 30-inch corn planter. And while it is a corn planter, we don't actually raise any corn, just because with our farm and the prices, we aren't comfortable with planting corn. But however, there's a few things that we want to try and get done to it before we start planting. There's one thing that definitely needs to be done, and that is replacing 4 of the fertilizer tubes on our squeeze pump. And what the squeeze pump is the pump that we use on our planter to run fertilizer to the row units. The reason we need to redo those 4 is because they are very old and they're getting pretty worn out and they're not pumping as much fertilizer. So therefore, we are not being able to apply as much fertilizer as we want. Not only are we not being able to apply as much fertilizer, but last year we had to replace the other 4, and we noticed that when our crops started coming up, it looked like we had test plots. what I mean by this is half of the planter planted a better crop because it got more fertilizer, so there was a very uneven stand. It was more noticeable when the Milo started heading out because some of the heads were quite a bit bigger than the others. Then, after we replace those tubes, another thing we want to do is we want to get work done to our gauge wheels. What the gauge wheels are, what they do is they help determine the seat depth. You set them to a specific setting that you want, and then they go up until they hit that setting or the depth that you want, and they don't allow the row unit to sink in any deeper into the ground, therefore placing the seat at the right depth. But we want to go through and work on those because the bushings and spacers that are on the arms for those gauge wheels have gotten pretty worn out, so the gauge wheels aren't moving up and down properly. They still go to the right depth that we want, but they just don't function quite right, and we need to get those worked on. So now comes to fix number 3. The third thing we want to fix on our planter, we don't necessarily need to do it. It's still operational the way it is. But however, the drive shaft that runs the seed meters, part of it we had to cut off last year. So when I was planting this field that I'm on right now, a pin had came out of that shaft and allowed that shaft to slowly work its way out. Well, as it did that, the shaft had worked out, and as it was spinning while I was planting, the spot where, I don't know the specific name, but one of the spots where the chains that one of the wheels runs to help drive the shaft ended up catching on that what we call a cylinder lock for when we go to a different field and down the road. It ended up catching that and bending that shaft, so in order to temporarily fix it, me and Dad had to cut that part of the shaft off, so that far outside drive chain we don't actually use it as of right now because the rod doesn't go out far enough. Like I said, it's not a major problem. The planter still works fine. It still has other drive chains it can run off, but we would like to get that fixed. It'll probably be one of the last things we try and do just because it's not as important. Yes, it puts more risk at us being shut down if one of the other chains breaks, but as of right now, it's still operational, so we don't need to do that. One last thing that will be coming up soon, and I will definitely be getting video on, is planting itself. Like I said, we try and plant May 1st. Today's the 9th of April. By the time this video gets published and released, it'll probably be the 10th or 11th, depending on how soon I can edit it and upload it. But we have, I would like to say, around 500 acres again of milo that we are looking to plant. So there'll definitely be quite a bit of planting that I can get recorded, especially since now we have online schools. I always get done with my classes at 11, so after lunch I can easily go out and run the tractor the rest of the day, which is pretty nice. So I'll definitely be getting at least 1 or 2 videos in on that, so that'll be coming up soon. However, there are a few other small things that could be coming up. Not sure yet. We haven't decided if we're going to do them or not. But if you're enjoying the videos and you would like to see what I have coming up next here on McCaffrey Farms, stay tuned. One thing I suggest, if you like the videos and you want to see more, click the bell icon underneath, because when we do these small or odd jobs or even planting and I post a video about it, you'll get notified. And also, another good way to stay in touch with me on what we're doing is check me out on Instagram. My account is all lowercase. It's McCaffrey_Farms I try and post as much as I can about what we're doing here on the farm and how things are going. Keep up to date. But this will probably be about the end of the video. There's not a whole lot that I have, just because since the field's so rough, I don't want to bore you too much and get some video that's not the best. So probably gonna end it here. Like I said, make sure to follow the videos if you like what you're seeing. Also, if you do like the videos, remember to hit the thumbs up and like the video. Also, if you're not already, please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you really like my channel and you think you have friends that will enjoy the channel, also be sure to share it with them. I would always appreciate it. Mind my English. Hard to speak sometimes, but always make sure that you like the video if you enjoy what you're seeing. And like I said earlier, just stay in touch and hit the bell icon. That way you're notified when I post new videos. Thank you for watching.